What's up, everybody? FSC Trucking. Well, a lot of people are probably asking by now where I've been and why I haven't been uploading in a while. I did a live some time ago trying to explain it, but lives aren't as popular as everything else that I do. So I wanted to do a video now before I release normal content tomorrow. So I wanted to explain to those that have been asking, those that didn't catch the live, well, where have I been? Well, I have a GoPro in my hand. I usually have like a handle or something for it, but I don't even have that. I'm just holding it, so hopefully I'm not screwing it up. I'm in Texas, and I'm at my parents' house. We came down with my dually because, well, this week we were planning on, actually last week maybe. Funny thing is, all these dates are running together. Long story short, my father almost died, and he got really sick, and they didn't really know exactly what was happening to him, but we raced down here. I was scheduled to come down here to help my father with a back deck for the house. So that's the garage, and that's my mom's house, mom and dad's house, and of course their expedition. Jen came down with me. She's got their car, so she's at Walmart getting some food. So we're in western Texas. It's about as much as I want to elaborate as to where my parents live, but we're out in the middle of nowhere, you know. Anyway, long story short, my dad, he was building that porch. We'll get over it in a minute, but he was starting to build on that porch, and he just had that top landing, the very top part done. And the plan was I was supposed to come down a couple weeks, help him build a back deck for my mom, that she could sit out in the sun and whatnot, right? Now, the problem with both my parents is they struggle with steps. Yes, it's a manufactured home built about 4 feet off the ground. I don't even know why that was even a thing, but it's a long story short with that, but I don't want to get into that too deep. Nonetheless, dad is in his late 70s, mom's in her mid 70s, and stairs are a problem. So the idea was I was to come down, build a ramp.
You're gonna build Beansy a ramp.
And then also build that back deck. That was the plan. But dad got sick, and one of the reasons why he left New Jersey was so he can go see an oncologist that wasn't afraid of my dad. You know, you might catch a cold, you know. So doctors back then were very nervous about seeing patients, and they both suffered from medical neglect. Both my dad from one perspective and my mom from another. Both of them damn near died in New Jersey, believe it or not. So that's why when my sister and her husband got a job here in Texas, the answer was this piece of property was gonna be the family home. In other words, my sister lives over there, mom and dad live here, they're real close together. My sister, being from the medical field, understands better what's going on with mom and dad, so this seemed like a perfect idea. Of course, me living in Wisconsin complicates the family matter and making sure that I can come down and do construction work as needed. And with obvious beef between me and my sister, I don't come down here as often as I wish I did. So, but now it's become a thing. All right, so what happened? Well, my dad fell ill while he was trying to build this porch landing. He calls it a landing, I call it a porch, but anyway, he fell ill while working on that, and went to the hospital here locally, and then he got transferred to another hospital, and he almost passed away en route to the next hospital. And at that point, we were not really sure what was getting him down, so for lack of a better term, we pushed the family panic button. And then I shot down as quick as I can. I jumped in the dually and came straight down because, well, I didn't know what kind of condition they were going to be in. And man, I even brought my suit thinking I was coming to a funeral possibly, you know, you just didn't know. But I was told the odds of him making it are very bad. But he pulled through. It turned out the thing that made him fall ill wasn't a terminal thing. It was next to a terminal thing, which made it look like that was it. So he's pulling through okay, but then I had to hurry up and get this ramp finished. That way I can get dad in the house, because once he got released, I was in a hospital for like almost 2 weeks. But once he got released, I had to get him up in the house. So I hurried up and finished this ramp setup for him, and modified very slightly the landing he built. But let me show you what he did. And a lot of this was for my mom, believe it or not, because dad, prior to falling ill, he was walking around like nothing was wrong with him. What my dad had designed is this landing here, from here to here. I actually took it apart and extended it a little bit wider. This part here is my idea. So what we did is I unbolted it from the house, took it away, and I replaced it, the front board and the back board, That way Mom has an area to stand and get the door to open. I got the screen door or storm door open right now, but that was the idea. Then we grafted from when they were staying in a travel trailer waiting for this house to get finished and delivered. I grafted the ramp that was over at my sister's, and I set it all up, made it to where it's a permanent fixture now. So we're still working on the railing for the steps, but this was the ramp I had done. And then while he was gone, I also poured this square piece of concrete. That way any carts or whatever could turn on this concrete pad and load directly onto the car on the driveway right here. That's the idea. Now, the staircase my dad designed with a little complicated math. Staircases are not easy to build. Bigger tread, shorter rise. It's only a 6-inch rise, so it's easier to walk up when you're an old person trying to make stairs. And if you can't make stairs, you use your ramp. There's also going to be a gate here that'll close off this section when you're using a ramp, and it'll swing that way and close off the ramp when you're using the stairs. That way, if you're using an electric cart, you don't come out the door and Thelma Louise right out on the staircase and land up over here somewhere. So that's what my dad built or designed, and I had to finish building it. So now that's where we're at. Problem is, my dad is he doesn't walk. So now, why am I still here? Well, the problem is that my dad is a big dude. He's literally a little bit smaller than me. And other than me and my brother-in-law, who's at a full-time job, there's nobody big enough to move my father around when he needs to be moved around from appointment to appointment. Turns out it's easier to get him to the doctor's using his truck, where I get him in the passenger side and I take him in his truck. Or like I said, Jen has the car. She went to Walmart to do grocery shopping, so we get Mom in and out of the car. Mom gets around pretty good, but she needs a little, like a walker kind of thing to help her walk. So that's how that plays out for her. But they're doing better. It's just this long-term care situation that I'm dealing with, which really puts me in a bind. And I'm not really sure how to handle that. We'll talk about that here in a minute. So long story short, here's the situation. I'm trying to figure out how I can get down here more often. Now, I did talk to Widmeyer Express about loads down here, and we do get loads down here, but I make better money going east. Long term, Mom and Dad need help. My sister works full time. She's changing jobs where she gets more days off per week, but it's still not that many. And her husband works full time. And Mom and Dad need to be able to get around and need somebody here. So that becomes a problem of what do I do. So I've been trying to take care of all the problems here, get them to all their doctor's appointments. But my dad is doing physical therapy. So he's getting stronger every day. They don't really want to be on camera because they don't look as good as they did in the past, which is fine. I get that. But that's what I've been doing. And I'm trying to figure out, like, if I'm going to be staying down here more often, do I try to figure out, like, where I'm going to park Orwell on property here? Do I move here but still maintain the shop up there? In other words, do I literally buy a house? Do I rent a house or an apartment or something for Jen to stay, so that way Jen's here? But then you got to figure if those of you guys that are married understand, you know, trucking sucks, and it's hard to be away from your significant other for such a long period of time. But now it's like, if I'm basing my stuff out of Wisconsin and I have to have Jen down here, how often do I get down here? And then, you know, I don't see her, she don't see me. So it at least solves the problem of who's taking care of Mom and Dad, but you know, it leaves my heart, at least Jen's heart, empty. So how do you do that? Do I maybe break lease with Widmeyer and try to lease on a company down here? Would I make good money if I did? How would that work? I really don't want to move my shop here, to be honest. This region is not for me. There's plenty of heat, but no water. So boating's a problem here. I don't want to say it like that, but if I was here, it would be temporary because my parents are up in years. They're not going to be alive forever, and I don't want to sink roots here just to rip them out again and go somewhere else. So what do I do? How do I handle that? What's the next step? I'm trying to figure that out. Now, as far as my channel, maybe I need to change how I'm doing things. Maybe I need to hire somebody to shop full time. Somebody's got dreams, ideas, motivated, somebody that's kind of crazy to do stuff that in the trucking industry just isn't commonly done. Maybe I need to look into that some. Shoot, if everybody follows Gentry and Sons, everybody knows Bryce moved to Tennessee for that job. He wanted to move to Tennessee, but Gentry gave him an opportunity, and that's how that played out. Maybe I need to do something similar to that, but that's a lot of money, and to be honest, I'm a little frightened of it, but that's okay. I'm not gambling much no more because my sons are growing out the house, so if I fail, I only fail for me and Jen, and I'll fail for my children. So I guess maybe it's time for me to jump into the next stage of life, stage of business. I'm not really sure, but that's what I'm thinking of. How do I do that? Maybe I try to find another truck put on with Widmeyer, but I need to pony up the money to buy another truck and then get it safe to operate. That way when I'm down here, I got another truck running. Widmeyers have always been a safe haven for me. I mean, I started with them in 06 and I'm still here now. So, you know, what does that tell you? I really don't want to leave there. Even if I'm not working there directly, maybe if I'm just have a truck on with them, that might be okay. That might work out good. I don't really know. But that's kind of my thought. I've always been wanting to do that. Maybe I have to pump the brakes on the Ford and the Ford CL9000 and work on something else. Man, I was like this close to ordering my frame, and then all this crap happened. So, I'm not even sure. But I have a lot of thoughts, and we're going to talk about it as days go on. Maybe I'll just put little updates in normal content. Now, as for you guys, the channel, tomorrow I got a new video coming out. That was filmed obviously like almost 2 months ago. Leaving my shop with a generator, another load with a generator, and we're talking about plans. Some of my plans was Glamis. That's probably not going to happen now. I talked about Matt getting a sand rail. That's not happening now. A lot of stuff happened bad for everybody when mom and dad got sick, and that's okay. We're healthy. We'll get through it. It's just, what do I do now? So with that, regular content's going to be up until I came to Texas, and it'll be pretty obvious, but I'm going to try to get my regular uploads done. Actually, 3-4 days ago, I ordered Starlink because right here, my cellular service is absolute trash. So making videos is one thing. Uploading videos is a huge problem right here. So I actually finally just bit the bullet. I ordered Starlink. That should get upload speeds way better. So now I'll be able to keep up with you guys a lot easier from either on the road, when I'm out camping, whichever. And we're going to cover all that once the Starlink gets here and how to hook it up and all that. That'll be content too. But either way, all future content for right now revolves on a generator and a trash pump being delivered out in Massachusetts, and a crazy crap show of a load, which I brought back to Minnesota, actually. I went from Massachusetts to Minnesota. 7 drivers went to pick up this load. All of them said, nope, not doing it. And I did it. So what does that tell you? That's content coming up. So that's what we're doing. I'm trying to keep the content going. I'm trying to bring you into the family, into my life a little bit more. We talked about that in tomorrow's video for you guys, as far as with the off-road scene and so on. And I'm trying to delicately deal with my parents and the problems there. I don't want to get into the depressing side. In reality, I'm really psyched up because my dad, he's getting stronger every day. I mean, when I first got him home, I had to carry him. I had to like literally give him a hug, bear hug underneath him, and lift him up, and then set him on a wheelchair, or pick him up from the wheelchair and put him on a potty, and pick him up from the potty and put him in bed. That was the first couple days. Now he's moving around on a walker. He's doing physical therapy, and he's getting literally stronger every day. They said to me, hurry up to Texas. Your dad probably ain't going to make the night. He's just conquering it. So that's just what fest checks do. My mom, on the other hand, she's still struggling with her problems, but she's pressing on, and that's the thing. So I'm going to leave you with the positivity of that. Mom and dad are getting better, but when I came down here, I thought it was going to be bad. I thought dad was gone, or on his way gone, and I didn't even think I'd be able to make it here and say goodbye. So I'll pack my suit up and go home. No funeral for this trip. So now I got to figure out how to finish up the rest of the house. I'll show you what we got going on here as far as the house, because manufactured homes around here, they are built like trash. I mean, camping trailers are built better. Sorry. So back I was saying earlier, that got delivered. That's scrap wood from building the porch. It's just between taking care of mom and building the porch, I'm back and forth, clean up. Not so much a thing. So one thing we need to do for my dad is we need to put electric doors here. These are manuals. We're going to electrify at least this door so he can get in and out without having to deal with that. In fact, let me show you something. I just have a dummy lock for now. That's why I won't tell you where they are. But this is always locked anyway. Oh, and they are in Texas, and they are heavily protected. So yeah, we've been working in here. So been cutting the wood out here. Dad's riding tractor. There's no grass, so he just took the mower deck off, and he just was riding that around, towing a little wagon, doing absolutely everything. All those model airplanes. But yeah, this is my mom's electric cart. that they've been using. If you notice on the back of the Expedition, there's a bracket for this stuff right here to lift this cart and set it in the back of the Expedition. So yeah, that's what we've been doing, is working with that. That's the ramp. Matter of fact, we just had this out going up and down the ramp. So yeah, that's how the garage is set up. So Dad had this concrete poured, and the mistake, this was a mistake. This should have not ducked down early. It should have ducked down about here, not over there. So we put the plywood there because there used to be sand, not any of this gravel driveway. Chip seal, this is. The guy that installed it absolutely ripped my father off. I mean, it's a nice driveway. Them rocks are terrible. Sorry, Mom, but those are landmines. I just drive over them. But this was a mistake, but that's all right. There's a glue strip we're going to put here instead of the plywood. Later, after I edit this video, I want to finish the banisters. They had a bad storm, so the storm door that's laying there, it's glass. It got ripped off because the molding is literally held in with just brad nails to hold the door on. So down it went. So that's the house. So there's a myriad of other problems with it. My issue is the fact that the house is up so high for people that struggle to make stairs. That's not really a good thing, but either way, that's how that got done. It is that bracket I was telling you about to get that wheelie cart up into the truck. So the gate comes up, it'll lift up based on that pole right there. It'll lift up, swing in, set down, locks itself in. Once the door closes, good to go. Of course, my dad's always been a big, proud, supporter of my channel since it was a baby channel. But yeah. Old schoolers will recognize my dad's truck. There was a time where I was borrowing it when I was really struggling for cash. So I borrowed that for a little bit and then gave it back to him when I was done. So, but I put new tires on it for him. They're still on there now. Yeah, so long story short, I'll just touch base on that real quick. So that's the way it's set up. Like I said, just beyond the ridge here is where my sister lives. This big whole piece of property is just a family piece of property now. So my sister lives over there. Mom and Dad live here, but they were living over there in a travel trailer while they were waiting for this to get built. And then this was not built the way it was supposed to be. And then it was modified to be the way it is now, and they didn't modify it right. So now that I'm here, I have the builders coming back to actually do it properly this time. So yeah, it got real ugly, and I'm not saying who built it around here, but if you're from the region, you understand there's maybe one or two, maybe three tops manufactured home manufacturers around here. So choose your pick. I think they're all terrible, personal opinion, but I don't know, that's how it is. So I'm dealing with that too, making sure that the contractors come in here and get it done and get it done right. So yeah, basically that's the long story short. So we're gonna press on with the old content. We're gonna hopefully get back to Wisconsin and start on some new content, but we're doing okay. Things are going, things are better health-wise. I just have to be here more to take care of them. Basically, that's it. But I want to sit down and touch base with you guys and explain. I know this video is probably long and boring, but I want to sit down and touch base with you guys that what was happening, why it was happening, and where I've been. I mean, maybe I did the wrong thing by shutting absolutely everything down to come down here, but if it wasn't me, nobody else is going to be able to do it. So I felt like it had to be me, because Mom and Dad have always dropped everything to help me when I got jammed up. So now it's my turn to repay them, and that's how I feel. So those are the choices I've made, and that's why I've made them choices. So now we have to figure out how to press on. So I'm going to be coming down here more often, somehow, some way. Professionally, I'm trying to figure out how to do it. But back as far as the shop and the content that the shop brings, I do think I probably have to step up and figure out how to hire somebody to actually help out more at the shop. It's going to cost a lot more money, but you never know. If I actually get something put together, the viewership ought to help pay for that. So that's kind of what I'm thinking. I've just been really nervous, and to be honest, I've been kind of a little bitch about expansion, because man, years ago I hurt myself real bad financially expanding, and I made bad choices, and it really hurt. But times are different now for me, and maybe I have more capability than I believe I do. Maybe I don't believe in myself enough, but one thing about me, when I have to step up, I will. And certainly it's not like I have never disappointed people in my life. Lord knows I have. But I got to figure out how to make it work better. I got to do better for them, because if I don't, who will? I mean, my sister and brother-in-law are here. And I'm not dogging them. Honestly, I'm not. I mean, we don't get along about most things, but they're doing what they can. You know, they got full-time jobs and they're still raising smaller children. So, you know, they have to more worry about their own family and stuff than worry about mom and dad. So, and my sons are worried about me making this like a, you know, a hurt myself mission where I hurt myself too much to help my mom and dad, but they're my mom and dad, you know, and it's not about being a good son. It's about doing the right thing to people that's always stood up to be there for me. So I'm trying to thread that needle, and that's basically what I want to talk to you guys about. That's what I'm doing. So in the next videos out and back to Wisconsin, that's just same old content before I got notified that this was going down. After that trip, we'll start updating or something like that, explain what's going on, and we'll touch base on it. But yeah, ultimately, I'm going to bring you guys in my life a little better. Wow, that sun's bright. But I'm going to try to bring you guys into my life a little bit more, explain what's going on, why I'm doing what I'm doing, how I'm doing, and let you guys know. So I'm going to shut the camera off. I'm going to see if maybe Dad wants to talk on camera real quick. Maybe Mommy will later. I'm not sure. If not, I'll just go hurry up and edit this and release it. So